Tonight we begin with a question that demands a concrete answer. Who benefits when Balochistan burns? When peaceful cities turn into war zones, when mothers of daily wages laborers mourn lost sons, who behind the scenes is fueling this turmoil? For 2 years, Pakistan has endured escalating violence and instability with terror attacks shaking Balochistan to its core. In 2024 alone, terrorist activities surged dramatically, over 1,099 attacks by terrorists and separatist groups. This unprecedented rise has brought sorrow and insecurity to countless Pakistani families. Two sinister groups are primarily responsible for this violence in Balochistan: the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan and the Balochistan Liberation Army. Together, they have inflicted severe wounds on Pakistan's national security. The deadly attack on the Jafar Express, where innocent civilians, including women and children, were held hostage, is a chilling example of BLA's ruthless agenda. Tragically, more than 20 innocent lives were lost during this horrifying incident. Is this surge spontaneous or meticulously planned? Yet, in the midst of this chaos, certain groups claim to champion human rights. Talk about the Baloch Yekjehati Committee. On the surface, the BYC talks about missing persons, but it needs to be delved deeper. Why do they remain silent when innocent civilians are brutally killed by BLA militants? Why do their protests always seem to conveniently coincide with terrorist incidents? These unsettling patterns cannot be mere coincidence. Law enforcement agencies have repeatedly identified ideological and political connections between BYC protests and separatist narratives pushed by BLA. Human rights are being weaponized, not to protect people, but to provide ideological cover for separatists and terrorists. Now here's a twist many won't tell you. Who exactly is providing the oxygen to keep this narrative alive? The footprints lead directly to Pakistan's eastern neighbor, India. The arrest and confession of Indian spy Kulbhushan Jadhav, a serving Indian naval officer, revealed undeniable evidence of India's covert support to BLA and TTP. Jadhav admitted India's nefarious strategy of funding terrorism to destabilize Balochistan and sabotage critical infrastructure like China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Despite this irrefutable proof, the world remains suspiciously silent. Isn't it strange? In 2020, the EU Disinfo Lab exposed India's sprawling disinformation campaign involving over 750 fake media outlets across 116 countries. This sophisticated operation aimed explicitly at defaming Pakistan internationally. Fake NGOs and staged events were orchestrated to spread lies about human rights abuses, aiming to isolate Pakistan diplomatically and economically. And this is where the story takes another shocking turn. Certain Western media outlets willingly amplify these manufactured narratives. Think about it. International media rush to report BYC protests, framing Pakistan negatively, yet remain deafeningly silent when innocent Pakistanis are slaughtered by the BLA and TTP. This selective reporting is no accident. It is carefully crafted to portray Pakistan in a negative light, fulfilling external agendas. Even domestically, certain media figures and influencers, some posing as journalists, others as analysts, have knowingly or unknowingly echoed the harmful narrative. They spin every decisive action by the Pakistan state as oppression, conveniently ignoring terrorist atrocities committed against ordinary citizens. This distorted portrayal sows confusion and distrust among the Pakistani public, exactly what external enemies intend. But here is the burning question. How long can Pakistan afford this soft stance amidst relentless aggression? Recognizing these escalating threats, Pakistan is now strategically transitioning to become a more resilient and decisive state, a hard state. A hard state that ensures zero tolerance for terrorism, swift and decisive governance, strong national unity against external threats. This strategic shift was clearly articulated by national leaders, emphasizing that Pakistan can no longer afford indecision or softness in the face of deadly threats. Terrorists and their supporters exploit every inch of space given. The Pakistani state's renewed determination is clear. National sovereignty and citizen safety are non-negotiable. Think for a moment, which country in the world would tolerate daily terror attacks without decisive action? The USA, Sri Lanka, China, El Salvador? Literally no one. The answer is obvious. No nation tolerates threats to its sovereignty. Pakistan's response: Strengthening security measures, tightening borders, and prosecuting individuals colluding with terrorists is justified, necessary, and long overdue. The people of Balochistan are primary victims of the same sinister external plots. Genuine grievances and governance issues are being proactively addressed by state institutions, but this legitimate pain should never become a tool in the hands of terrorists who exploit suffering to recruit more militants. And here's a message, loud and clear, for those attempting to weaken Pakistan through misinformation and terror. Pakistan will not be destabilized. This is not mere rhetoric, this is reality backed by resolve and capability. The bravery of Pakistan's armed forces and the resilience of its citizens have always triumphed over terrorism. Operation Zarbeaz, Operation Raddul Fasad, and now the ongoing Operation Azm-e-Istehkam are proof of Pakistan's steadfast commitment to dismantling terrorist networks once and for all. It is time to ponder who stands to gain from a destabilized Pakistan, who benefits from sabotaging our economic lifelines like CPEC. The answers are painfully clear and the evidence undeniable. But equally undeniable is Pakistan's unwavering determination to defeat terrorism, separatism, and external interference. The era of softness is over. The era of decisive action has begun. Our unity is our greatest strength. Together, we will overcome the forces conspiring against our homeland. Together, we will reclaim peace, stability, and prosperity. This is Amara Farat Baloch, and you're watching Nexus Bulletin.